Has David Zaslav and Warner Brothers actually pulled the plug on Shazam 2, The Fury of the Gods, after a terrible opening weekend for this latest DCU picture from Warner Brothers? You can't blame Mr. Zaslav for doing just that. And we even talked about Sunday during the live stream how I thought this might actually be a silver lining for David after his changes in the DCU, bringing in James Gunn and Peter Safran. And then Zachary Levi dropped some incredible remarks on his Instagram page in the last day. We're going to cover all of that because this one is bizarre. Here we go. Renegade Online. Well, welcome back. Another great day here at Valiant Renegade. It's good to see everybody out there once again. And if you are like one of the many folks watching this video, not yet subscribed to this channel at Valiant Renegade, please take a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn it from red to gray, hit that notification bell, share this sucker out on the social medias, and of course, please do leave a comment before you head out the door today. It's good to see everybody out there. Quickly approaching 20,000 subs, now about 300 or so away from that. We hope you'll help us get there, and we want to thank everybody who's already been here for a while, helping us make that mark. We appreciate you. On to the news. Shazam, Fury of the Gods, or Shazam 2, whatever you want to call it, not a great start for Warner Brothers. Let's dive in and catch up on the box office numbers right here. And we talked about it this weekend on the Sunday live show, Renegade Online, every Sunday right here on Valiant Renegade at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there this weekend. But Shazam presented an interesting scenario. Not very interesting or very good in that case for the financials of this film. This sucker came in with a $125 million production budget. I'll remind folks, Variety magazine recently reported that the first film came in with about a $100 million budget and a $105 million marketing spend. So adjusting up for the production budget on this new one, but basically no adjustment, being very lenient with my marketing expenditure here with $100 million. Might have even been a little bit less depending on what David Zaslav wanted to do, but here's where it stands. $66 million after a few days in the box office. The opening weekend was very bad for this film. And it got even worse when Monday, March 20th came around, the first Monday for this film, with a $30 million opening weekend, already a bad start, but then a horrific 77% tank for the first Monday, down to $1.69 million. Now, the last time we saw a tank like that, it was on a Marvel Cinematic Universe title, but at least to its credit, Shazam only spent half of the budget of that previous Marvel film, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. But even with only half the budget of Wakanda Forever, it still only managed to pull in about 1/6 of Wakanda Forever's opening weekend. That's just not a ratio that you want to live with. And as if it couldn't get any worse, on Tuesday, March 21st, it was leaked apparently by Amazon when this movie would be released to the premium video on demand circuit, the PVOD circuit. That is to say, when you can rent or buy this movie digitally from the comfort of your own living room. And that release date, apparently revealed by Amazon Prime, was April 18th. Just a little over 30 days from the actual release in the theater, and that means if they do indeed do this, there's going to be pay cuts from companies like AMC, Cinemark, Marcus Theaters, so on and so forth. Remember, these theaters will cut the amount of rentals that they pay back to the studios and distributors for these films if they're not given a theatrical window that they agree to. There's all kind of outs and stipulations in these contracts. What will happen to those rentals if they pull it back after 45 days or if they pull it back after 30 days? That's all built in from the get-go. And quite frankly, I don't blame Warner Brothers all that much. At this point, this movie is not going to make that much more money. So if they lose an extra 10% or so from the rentals at the box office, it's not going to be the end of the world. But they do apparently think that this movie could be worth more money to them in terms of subscriber satisfaction, possibly bringing in some new subs, and of course, PVOD sales and rentals ahead of that on places like iTunes and Amazon Prime, more so than it is in the theaters at this point. But what's interesting is that after this news broke, Earlier today, as I record this on Tuesday evening, it seems that Amazon Prime has pulled back the date from public visibility. And I suspect this happened because after they accidentally put it out there, they probably got a phone call. Instead of it saying coming soon, it actually revealed a date. Now, maybe the date is wrong and this news is inaccurate, or maybe Amazon Prime accidentally let the cat out of the bag when they weren't supposed to, because that is going to have a direct impact on people going to see this in the theaters. It's not something that any studio would want to have happen, even if they intend for the movie to only be in theaters for those 30 days. We talked about this not that long ago with Creed 3, where we saw a release date posted for the physical media of Creed and the PVOD. Again, probably not something the studio wanted out there, but it happened nonetheless. Now, Creed 3 has still performed admirably in theaters, but then again, it also had a much better start than this movie. And then, as if things could not get any more bizarre, this from The Hollywood Reporter on Zachary Levi and a very strange Instagram post earlier today. Zachary Levi backs a report that Dwayne Johnson nixed the post-credits scene in Shazam, Fury of the Gods. From the article, Levi was casting Thunderbolts Tuesday after a report circulated that Black Adam star Dwayne Johnson blocked characters from The Rock's film showing up in a post-credits scene in Levi's Shazam, Fury of the Gods. It was already known that members of Black Adam's Justice Society of America were originally slated to appear in the new Shazam film, with filmmaker David F. Sandberg telling The Hollywood Reporter that the scene, quote, fell apart 3 days before we were going to roll cameras, end quote, forcing him to find alternate characters at the last minute. On Tuesday, The Wrap reported that Johnson blocked the characters from appearing in Fury of the Gods, and that the actor and producer also nixed a potential Levi cameo in Black Adam. Continuing on, in an Instagram story on Tuesday, Levi shared a post mentioning The Wrap's reporting and added his own commentary, quote, "The truth shall set you free." And here's the post in question that Zachary Levi made on his Instagram. And you can see there that last section from The Wrap. The Rock didn't allow Levi a cameo in the post-credit for Black Adam. Levi also posted on Twitter on Monday, "I think the biggest issue we're having for this film, Shazam 2, is marketing. This is a perfect family movie, and yet a lot of families aren't aware of that, which is just a shame." Now, this has turned into probably quite the mess inside DC and Warner Brothers Studios. And honestly, I think at this point, it's something that David Zaslav is just waving off. It is what it is, and it's a shame. I've got nothing against Zachary Levi or the Shazam movies. I thought the first one was, frankly, a lot of fun to watch. And while I haven't seen the second one, I'll probably catch it as soon as it lands on HBO Max. This is just not one of those things that I'm rushing out to the theater to go see. But that being said, I think this is just more signs that David Zaslav knew what he was doing when he was coming in here and letting this movie just kind of slide by the wayside. That marketing budget of maybe $100 million, maybe it was half of that. Maybe they spent next to nothing on this. There was a decent bit of marketing done for this film, but I have a feeling that Warner Brothers knows, like everybody else right now, they need to cut costs. And the cost came at the expense of a DC universe that was being shown the door, basically clearing the pipeline at this point with projects like Black Adam and now this Shazam movie, because a lot of that marketing budget is going to have to ramp up for much bigger and, frankly, much more cost-heavy films like The Flash that's coming up. And don't forget Aquaman 2 that's due out at some point. Both The Flash and Aquaman 2 have undergone massive reshoots, and each of those movies is probably very easily going to have to find its way to $1 billion just to think about breaking even. So that's it. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Was this a plug pulling by Warner Brothers and David Zaslav on Shazam, seeing how poorly it did in opening weekend, the lack of audience interest in this, and the willingness to just walk away, make what they can on PVOD, and move on with the DCU? It's a shame for the cast. It's a shame for the filmmakers, but sometimes that's big business in Tinseltown. Hope to see you Sunday. Hope to see you on the next video. Drop that comment below, hit that like, subscribe if you're not already, and until next time, take care.